The twin moons of Arcturus Prime cast silver shadows across the palace's observation deck. Kivin leaned against the crystalline railing, staring out at the bioluminescent forests that stretched endlessly below. He thought he was alone. "They'll never understand," he whispered to the alien sky, his breath forming small clouds in the cool night air. "How could they? I'm just human." Princess Anna of the Arcturian Empire pressed herself against the marble column, her heart pounding. She hadn't meant to eavesdrop. She'd come to the balcony to escape another tedious diplomatic reception, another evening of courtiers praising her luminescent skin and crystalline eyes, all the features that marked her as Arcturian royalty. But the human ambassador's assistant had beaten her to her hiding spot. "I should have stayed on Earth," Kivin continued, his voice carrying a weight that made Anna's chest tighten. "At least there I knew my place. Here, surrounded by beings who can manipulate gravity with their minds, who live for centuries, who consider interstellar travel as casual as I consider walking. What am I? What could I possibly offer?" Anna's fingers tightened on the cold stone. She knew she should announce her presence, but something kept her frozen, listening. Kivan's shoulders slumped. "And her, Princess Anna, I'm such a fool," he laughed bitterly. "A human falling for an Arcturian princess. It's like a mayfly falling in love with a star. We barely exist in the same timescale, let alone the same social universe." Anna's breath caught. Was he speaking of her? "But when she smiles," Kivin said, his voice softening, "when she actually smiles, not that diplomatic mask she wears at functions, but that real smile when she thinks no one's watching, it's like witnessing a supernova. And the way she listens to people, really listens, even to someone insignificant like me. How am I supposed to not fall for that?" He ran his hand through his dark hair, a gesture Anna had noticed him make dozens of times during their brief interactions. She'd always found it oddly endearing, though she'd never allowed herself to examine why. "Humanity's greatest weakness," Kivin muttered, "is that we feel everything so intensely in our short little lives. We burn bright and fast. Every moment matters because we have so few of them. And I've wasted precious weeks of my brief existence trying to ignore the fact that I'm hopelessly, impossibly in love with someone I can never have." "And why," Anna said, stepping out from behind the column, her voice trembling slightly, "can you never have her?" Kivin spun around, his face draining of color. In the moonlight, Anna could see the horror dawning in his eyes. "Your Highness, I didn't. How long have you?" "Long enough," Anna said, moving closer. Her royal composure was cracking, emotions she'd suppressed for years bubbling to the surface. "You think you're insignificant. Kivin, do you know what it's like to live for centuries? To watch empires rise and fall, everything becomes muted, predictable, until—" She stopped, suddenly aware of how much she was revealing. "Until what?" Kivin asked softly. Anna looked away, toward the glowing forests. "Until a human arrived at court 6 months ago. A human who actually challenged my opinions during trade discussions instead of immediately agreeing with everything I said. Who introduced me to something called coffee and laughed when I made a face at the bitterness. Who told me stories about Earth, a planet where beings live brief, fragile lives and somehow create more beauty, more art, more passion than species that have millennia to do so." "Anna," Kivin started, then caught himself. "I mean, Your Highness, I apologize. I shouldn't have." "Don't," she said sharply, turning back to face him. "Don't apologize for being genuine. That's what I value most about humans, about you. You don't have time for elaborate deceptions or centuries-long political games. You say what you mean. You feel what you feel." Kivin took a cautious step forward, even when those feelings are completely inappropriate. A sad smile crossed Anna's lips. "My father would say yes. The council would certainly agree. An Arcturian princess and a human. It's unprecedented, impossible. You'll age and die while I'm still considered young. Our biologies are incompatible. Our worlds are light years apart in every sense." "So we agree it's impossible," Kivin said quietly. We agree that everyone would say it's impossible, Anna corrected. She moved closer until only a few feet separated them. But humanity has a saying, doesn't it? Something about the impossible being just another Tuesday for humans. Despite everything, Kevin smiled. HFY, humanity, fuck yeah. It's an old internet phrase. Humans doing impossible things because we're too stubborn or too stupid to know we can't. I like that, Anna said, because I've spent 2 centuries being the perfect princess, perfect diplomacy, perfect composure, perfect loneliness. And then you arrived with your coffee and your stories and your absolutely inappropriate honesty, and suddenly I felt something I hadn't felt in decades. Do you know what that was? What? Kevin whispered. Alive, Anna said simply. You made me feel alive. Your intensity, your passion, the way you experience everything like it might be your last chance to do so, because for humans it very well might be. It's intoxicating, terrifying, wonderful. Kevin's eyes searched her face. Anna, I have maybe 80 years left if I'm lucky. You have thousands. I'll be ancient before you even enter your middle years. I'll die and you'll move on, and it will barely register as a moment in your long life. Perhaps, Anna acknowledged. Or perhaps those 80 years with you would mean more than 1,000 years of perfect, passionless protocol. Perhaps intensity matters more than duration. Perhaps humans aren't the only ones who can do impossible things. She reached out, her crystalline fingers brushing against his human hand. The touch sent electricity through both of them. The council will never approve, Kevin said, but he didn't pull away. Then we'll convince them, Anna said, or we'll defy them. Humans aren't the only stubborn species in the galaxy. We just hide it better beneath diplomatic niceties. This is insane, Kevin breathed. Completely, Anna agreed. Unprecedented, impossible, exactly the kind of insane impossibility that humans specialize in, and I want to try it anyway, if you're willing. Kevin looked at her, really looked at her. Not the princess, not the crystalline perfection of Arcturian royalty, but Anna, the woman who had snuck away from her own reception to hide on a balcony, who had listened to his confession instead of revealing herself immediately, who was looking at him now with hope and fear and determination in equal measure. I'm willing, he said. God help me, I'm absolutely willing. Anna smiled then, that real smile he'd mentioned, the one she thought no one noticed. It was indeed like watching a supernova. Then let's do this impossible thing together, she said. Let's show the galaxy what happens when human determination meets Arcturian stubbornness. Kevin laughed, the sound echoing across the observation deck. The universe isn't ready for that combination. No, Anna agreed, intertwining her fingers with his. But since when has that stopped humanity from trying? Below them, the bioluminescent forests pulsed with soft light. Above them, the twin moons continued their eternal dance. And on the balcony, where moments before there had been lonely isolation, 2 beings from impossible worlds held onto each other and chose to believe in something the galaxy would call impossible. Because that's what humans did best. And perhaps, Anna thought as Kevin squeezed her hand, that's what anyone did best when they found something worth fighting for. The impossible was just another beginning.